What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today I'm sitting with the 6.0 and we're gonna get the new cam in. So where we left off last time, just a little update on the rotating assembly. I mentioned that the torque angle gauge wasn't really working correctly and I wasn't 100% if it torqued correctly for the first 4 cylinders or so. I ended up just loosening them up and re-hitting them with the 15 foot-pounds followed by the 85 degrees. So I know everything is properly torqued and ready to go. I just threw some oil in the cylinders and it's kind of been sitting here for a few days. But today we are going to put the cam in. I went and picked up a Brian Tooley Racing Stage 4 PDS blower cam, as well as new thrust plate, timing chain, oil pump, and I am doing a conversion from a single bolt to a 3-bolt. For anybody who doesn't know, these Gen 4 motors use VVT, which is variable valve timing, and they come with the cam pulley with the cam phaser on it. It has a single bolt. So I went and picked up a 3-bolt conversion upper cam gear, as well as a LS2 timing chain guide. So we're gonna install that today as well. So here we go. This is everything that's gonna eventually make its way onto the 6.0. We have our cam, valve springs, rocker trunnion kit, and I got some hard push rods, LS2 timing chain, got a brand new thrust plate for the cam, and we have some ARP cam bolts. Now the valve springs that are currently on the 799s that came off the 5.3, they're the exact same ones. I just picked up another set just because I wanted to have a fresh set for the 6.0. But for anybody who's been with the channel from the beginning, when it was mostly just Camaro content, when I started boosting the car, I was initially going to do a turbo. So when I put the cam in, maybe a year or so prior to actually getting around to boosting it, I put a TIC Performance Stage 2 turbo cam. I was pretty impressed with that, so I can't wait to actually get the bigger cam in there. It's an actual blower cam made for the supercharger. The 6.0, we're gonna have better flowing heads. It's gonna be pretty sick to see what this thing's actually gonna do. But we are going over to the Brian Tooley Racing Stage 4 blower cam. Now, apparently a lot of CL1 guys use this. I talked to them. And I was initially gonna go to Stage 3, but I am trying to go all out with this and just kind of squeeze every last horsepower I can out of the LSA. I have no plans on pulling it down any more than it is. I have a 2.4 on there. I have a stock lower. I mean, if I'm really trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel for horsepower, once this is all said and done, maybe I'll put just a slightly, is it a smaller? I guess it's a smaller lower pulley to up the boost. A slightly different pulley to maybe bring the boost up a little bit. But the plan as of right now is just to put the new setup in. We're gonna leave the boost exactly the way it is, so we don't strain anything, don't push anything any more than it has to, and we'll see what it does. But these are the valve springs that are eventually gonna make their way onto the heads that came off the 6.0. There's the part number for that, as well as the part number for our cam. Then I also went and picked up a rocker trunnion bearing kit. Now, I'm not 100% on when you should really upgrade these. Essentially, this just upgrades the stock rockers to handle more lift. I'm not sure if it's so much of a power aspect that you want to upgrade these, or it's just when you're gonna put a big enough cam with enough lift that you want to go and upgrade this. But it's pretty much just a bearing kit with a with upgraded trunnions, and this is just gonna let the engine not spill needle bearings all over the place when running like a larger cam. And then right here we just have some chromoly push rods. Also, same kind of push rods that are in the Camaro right now, but those are comp, not Brian Tooley. So here's what we're looking at as far as the cam specs. It's around 119 LSA, and then max lift on the intake side is just about 0.630. Exhaust is pretty much right at 0.6. I think the cam in it now, being it's a turbo cam, the intake lift, I want to say it's like 615, maybe 619. I'm not 100%. The exhaust maximum lift, I think it's like a 590. So I guess obviously let's start by getting the cam in. I'm not sure how far I'm going to go with this video, but I like to at least get the cam in. Maybe we can get the oil pump and stuff on. Got to flip this over. I know I have this like really close to the Camaro, but I've been bringing cars in the other side, and I just don't feel like moving it back and forth. All right, so I think I have just enough lube here so we can get our cam in. See, cam's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You didn't see anything. So this guy comes lubed up pretty damn good, but I'm gonna use the same Lucas to lube it up some more. Now most of these cam bearings got stuff on them from the kind of drip back when I was putting the pistons in, but I'm just gonna lube up this front one a little bit because this didn't see any action. And then obviously we're gonna lube the cam as we put it in. If this engine fails by the cam breaking in half, I take full responsibility, but I didn't drop anything. You are just terribly, terribly mistaken, I'm sorry to say. I don't have the back cover on, so essentially the cam could just flop out the back. But next step, we'll get the cover on there, the little thrust plate, get it torqued down, and then we'll break out the new oil pump. These guys are going to get 18 foot-pounds. Here's the timing chain I'm using. And here's the part number for the gear. This is for the 3-bolt. Come on! Now, if you're gonna drop your cam on the floor, be sure to drop your cam gear as well. You wanna make sure everything is bent in the exact same manner. Now I'm just going to spin this a little dot here. It's facing directly up. Then we're going to line the cam gear up with what I think is this right here. And these are going to be 26 foot-pounds, just so I can tighten this down. Oops, well, you guys were a little out of focus there, but we'll just spin it around. Make sure our marks meet right back up. Beautiful. I guess this is an LS2 style tensioner. This came with the Brian Tooley kit as well. And these guys, I think they get 26 foot-pounds. At least that's on the LS1s. I'm not sure this is different from that, but I'm gonna set them to 26. Put a little splooge on our timing chain, why not? And look how sticky that is. So here's the oil pump I'm using. And this is a Summit Racing oil pump. Cost me about 60 bucks. Cool thing is, it's actually a Melling pump in a Summit Racing box. So, does anybody actually prime these? I've heard of people with the older small blocks actually like maybe stuffing Vaseline or something in here to prime this. When I put it on the 5.3, I didn't do anything. I just maybe poured a little oil in there and threw it on. I think what I'm gonna do, I have some of this really sticky lube left. So I think I'm just gonna pour whatever I can in here just to kind of coat everything. And I'll just throw it on like that. I have to, well, I have to go find the bolts for one thing, because I don't know where the hell they are. That guy's gonna sit right there. Let me go track the bolts down. I'm trying to figure out which ones look like they were actually inside of an engine. And they all kind of look like that. I guess these are the oiliest, and I got a set of 4 of them. And these guys are gonna get 18 foot-pounds. Feels good. All right, so for the 3-bolt cam conversion to get rid of the VVT, you need a different timing cover as well. So I got this guy, part number right there. So you see it comes complete, front seal, cam sensor, gasket, all the bolts. And all these guys are getting 18 as well. Just like that, we have a Cam 6.0. All right, so next step is gonna be the windage tray. I don't have a car tray because obviously this is a truck motor, came with the windage tray from the Savannah Express van bus that it came out of. The Camaro has an LS1 pan on it. It's got an LS1 windage tray. I'm not sure if there's a difference. And basically all I would be concerned about is whether or not this hangs any lower than the LS1 tray, being the truck pan hangs a lot lower, the sump. One of you guys who always watch my videos, KFX, I'm sorry, I don't remember your full name, but you commented you're doing a build like this and the truck tray apparently fits and there's like a bulge or something that hits one of the studs that the LS1 pan doesn't have. 2 of these holes are oval and they're not gonna fit over the studs. So I'm just gonna drill these guys out a little bit. Beautiful. Oop, I am seeing a problem here. It's hitting the stud. Because normally there's a bolt here in the center. With the ARP, obviously everything's studs. And the top of the stud is hitting over here. Right there, the stud is hitting. And let me grab a pickup tube. So that's the only, even the pickup tube doesn't look like it's gonna cooperate here. Do I really wanna beat the shit out of this thing or can I just get a car tray? It almost looks like if this was backwards, like it would work. I wonder if the pickup tube on the truck mounts on the other side. Oh, this wouldn't even line up, but Yeah, if it was backwards, it would clear it. Obviously, it's not gonna mount backwards. All right, so for the valley cover, as far as I know, I can reuse this. This engine doesn't have DOD, displacement on demand, and I'm not doing a DOD delete, obviously, because it doesn't have it. So I'm assuming this cover, the blocks are DOD. You can see all of the ports here, unless this is for the VBT. Really not sure how it works. I'm new to these Gen 4s. But regardless, basically no oil. Like if it had DOD, oil will come through here, I'm assuming, and go through a set of veins in this cover. But this cover just has these O-rings that basically seal those holes up. So it looks like I could just pop this back on here and use this truck cover with this setup. I don't think it's getting in the way of anything. The oil pressure standoff seems to be further back enough. Plus the blower's kind of notched in the back, so it's not like it's gonna hit anything. So for now, I'm gonna install this guy on there. I just gotta see if I have some new O-rings to put in here. All right, I just pulled one of these O-rings out, and they're these square cut kind of seals. So I'm not gonna have anything that's going to fit in here. But I think that's gonna wrap up working on this for a little bit. Probably not gonna touch it again until I get the heads back. We'll get the back cover on. I have to get the oil pan off of the 5.3, obviously, before I can totally complete it. But next thing you're probably gonna see is us finally taking the 5.3 out. That's gonna be fun, because I wanna see what the hell. What the fuck? Something's going on with that car. Yeah, but I wanna see what the hell happened to the engine. So that is gonna probably be the next video you're gonna see. But for now, once again, that's gonna do it for this one. I'll see you guys in a few days.